Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV, and click on.
She was overwhelmed with community support. Singleton is now planning to do so that she can help others.
Former Detroit Police Chief James Craig may not have said the words, but tonight he sure sounded like a candidate running for governor. But we begin with some late-night storms popping in parts of Metro Detroit.
We've also got 37,000 DTE customers without power right now with heavy outages in New Baltimore.
Warnings that are now in effect, Ben.
Yeah, Kim and Devin, despite those damage reports, this was the first thunderstorm warnings that we've had all night for Lapeer and now for Sanilac County. You've been seeing that in the corner of your screen. Let's go to Storm Tracker 4 thunderstorm warning. It is for the potential for 60-mile-per-hour winds, but you can tell just from the colors there, we're definitely seeing some serious rainfall. In fact, when we look at the rainfall rates, you can tell that. A little bit of wind in there, but definitely some heavy rain. Further south in Oakland County, no warning on this storm, but a lot of rainfall coming down there in northern parts of Oakland County, central Macomb County. Some of these areas may have been hit prior with thunderstorms earlier tonight, but you can see you're in for another round of downpours. Into the rest of the forecast, we're expecting to see more of this tomorrow, but there are the reports that we've seen tonight. Most of those have been down tree limbs because of the wind, but we are under a marginal risk for severe weather tomorrow, not necessarily tonight, but those will get an early start on us. We'll talk timing on that and how things are going to change by the end of the week coming up in a few minutes.
Okay,
guys.
Ben, thank you. Our other top story tonight, former Detroit Police Chief James Craig making his first political running for governor as a Republican.
Our Mara McDonald was at the event tonight. Mara, some interesting faces in the crowd. Let's put it that way.
Oh, Devin, it was very interesting. You had the hierarchy of the Michigan GOP. You had donors, grassroots activists, Governor Snyder's campaign consultant. Make no mistake, James Craig may not have said, I'm running for governor tonight, but this was a campaign.
My privilege and my great pleasure to introduce to you, here under these historic oaks, a proven and courageous leader, former Detroit Chief of Police, James Craig.
Political operatives told us last week Craig's choice of Jackson tonight was an off-Broadway start for his potential run. And the reviews after his speech tonight?
I thought that Chief Craig is a good, very good Republican.
Leadership, clear voice, direction.
The now retired chief commanded the podium and laid out his conservative bona fides.
I will always protect the rights of others to live their lives, speak their minds, practice their faith, enjoy liberty, and pursue happiness.
And as far as the Trump question goes,
privately, I found that my life experiences were leading me to vote Republican, including for president.
His first speech had its first heckler.
Thank you to the Jackson County Republican Party chairman,
which he easily handled.
Let me just say this. I respect
to Abraham Lincoln, Ronald Reagan, Sojourner Truth, and Booker T. Washington.
Character, not circumstances, makes the man. Come on now.
Back here live, the chief did not take press questions after tonight's event, and the Michigan Democratic Party wasted no time in putting out a statement tonight criticizing the event and calling Craig clearly the GOP's cherry-picked candidate. We are live downtown tonight. I'm Mara McDonald, Local 4.
You know, Mara, a lot of people might be thinking that the chief is playing it coy, but there's a lot of reasons not to announce. You know, the rules and laws change.
The campaign
Sure.
speech. This wasn't a I'm thinking about it. This was a I'm here, I'm in. And if that crowd that was there doesn't tell you that he's in, I don't know what else does. You don't get out the entire hierarchy of the Michigan GOP, the biggest campaign consultant in the state, the grassroots activists, and the donor class. Yeah.
It was hard to miss.
It's going to be interesting to watch in the coming weeks.
All right, Mara. Kim.
Boy who was killed while riding his bicycle last week has gotten an outpouring of support from the community. Well, tonight the boy's mother says it's so much she'd like to donate to others in need. Jason Colthorpe spoke to her tonight
and the story about what happened to her son Preston got out, how he was killed. people from all over wanted to donate, wanted to help them out. And she said a couple that wasn't even from Michigan, they were visiting from out of state, driving through, saw the story, made a point to find her family and donate something. Well, she says now her family has more than they need, and she doesn't want 1 cent to go to waste.
I just miss him next to me.
Every day for Tiffany, his energy is the biggest thing missing in the week since he was killed.
Preston woke up literally like ready to go, like so happy. He really he loved everybody.
On June 29th, when Preston was crossing the intersection at Van Dyke and Stevens on his bike, along with his aunt, his sister, and his cousin, a Jeep raced through the red light, hitting and killing the 5-year-old. The driver never stopped. Preston's cousin Braxton has now attached a picture of he and his best friend on his bike.
Our arms were both around us with the same outfits on.
Since the accident, donations of all kinds have poured.
20 to 30,000 that we can donate.
She knows it's what Preston would want.
Anyone can help. I don't care if it's an old man or a small child, like anyone, whatever it can do.
Is to a local shelter. She says she's also still trying to figure out a way to donate all of that money. She has plans to contact some local charities to see if that's a way to do that. By the way, Preston's funeral will be this Saturday, and it is open to the public. Reporting live tonight, Jason Colthrop, Local 4.
In the midst of their heartbreak, they can find a way to be so generous. That's really great. All right, Jason, thanks.
A woman's boyfriend is in custody after she shot 4:30 this morning at the Fountain Circle Apartments. Police say officers arrived to find a 36-year-old woman unresponsive. The victim's 32-year-old boyfriend and her 13-year-old son were at the apartment when it happened. The boyfriend was...
Fire lieutenant is killed in a road rage shooting in Troy. It happened last night at the Shell gas station on Rochester Road near Waddles. Police say 55-year-old Francis Dombrowski of Rochester Hills had gotten into an argument with another driver. We're told the passenger in the other driver's car got out and started shooting. Dombrowski was a 29-year veteran of the department. Those who knew him call it a great loss.
He was promoted to lieutenant. He trained firefighters, and he showed up every day without any complaints.
The shooter turned himself into police overnight. He's expected to be charged tomorrow.
Novi police today releasing the 911 calls that were made. He was still conscious after being hit.
Hey, we have someone who's hit by a firework. Can you come here immediately?
Okay, ma'am, we're already aware of it. Is he awake and talking to you?
He's breathing. We have a nurse here. He's breathing, but he's doing not very good. I'm in the ICU.
Ma'am, okay, they're on the way. Just stay there. Okay.
Happened around 10 p.m. on the 4th of July during a party at the home of Kivalenics coach, former Red hot tub, when a firework tipped and fired right at him from just 10 feet away. He was taken to Ascension Providence Hospital in Novi, where he died. He was just 24 years old.
In coronavirus news tonight, more than 1 million people have signed up for the state's vaccine sweepstakes. The state tells us about 1 million have entered the grand prize drawings, and nearly 45,000 young people have entered the scholarship and enter. Meanwhile, President Biden is launching a new vaccination push. He's promising door-to-door outreach, a renewed effort to get vaccines to more primary care doctors, and to set up more mobile clinics.
Right. And because of that, their communities are at risk, their friends are at risk, the people that they care about are at risk. This is an even bigger concern because of the Delta variant.
This comes as the U.S. missed the president's July have one or more dose of the vaccine.
Final former UAW member charged in the long-running corruption scandal was sentenced to prison today. Former UAW Region 5 Director Vance Pearson received 12 months in prison. All of that even though Pearson did cooperate in the probe with his former union presidents, helping the feds discover more than $100,000 in hidden money. But he was one of 15 who ended up being charged in the corruption scandal.
Still ahead, families say their apartment complex was turned into a war zone over the holiday weekend.
The damage caused by a so-called fireworks
gets closer to the Florida coast. When and where it could make landfall.
But first, a shootout erupts at a local gas station in broad daylight. Who police are seeking next.